Here's Chris Paul with the ball at the logo. As Jackson Davis comes up to set the screen, CP3 rejects it and goes right instead. At that point, Brandon Podziemski comes in and sets a screen for Jackson Davis, who then gets the ball as he rolls to the rim for the uncontested flush at the rim. This play was absolutely beautiful, but if you noticed, it was executed by someone who was once public enemy number 1 in Chase Center and 2 rookies, and this got me thinking. The Golden State Warriors have robbed the NBA again. You know, at this point in time, I'm not completely sure if it's Joe Lacob, Steve Kerr, or a combination of Mike Dunleavy Jr. and Bob Myers. But the truth is, the team from the Bay Area has somehow, time and time again, got such great deals that it's like they're practically robbing the NBA blind. And if you think I'm kidding, let me rewind back the clocks of time to show you exactly what I mean. Prior to the 2013 season, the Warriors got the deal of a lifetime when they re-signed Steph Curry to a $44 million 4-year deal. What this essentially meant was that in 2015 and 2016, they were able to have a 2-time MVP on their roster for about $10 million a year. Just for some context on how good that deal actually was, in Steph's second MVP season, where he was selected unanimously, players who have never, ever made an all-star team, such as Rookie Rubio, Tristan Thompson, and Greg Monroe, were making more money than Curry that year, who averaged 30 points per game while shooting north of 50, 40, and 90, while leading his team to the best regular season record in NBA history. Then, not too long after that, the Warriors got the second best player on the planet, Kevin Durant, to take a $10 million pay cut to play with them. I know, right? And it wasn't just KD either. Former All-Star David West also took less money so he could play with the Bay Area team. At that point in time, the Warriors were essentially left, right, and center robbing the NBA blind, and all Adam Silver could do was smile and nod because NBA viewership was as good as ever. All that plunging led the Warriors to 3 championships and 5 finals appearances. But that didn't stop them from continuing to rob the NBA. They wanted more. You see, when Kevin Durant left the team in 2019 after his contract ended, he didn't just simply walk away for free. No. The Warriors were able to get him to do a sign and trade, which got them D'Angelo Russell and a few other players. And well, that D'Lo sign and trade directly led to the acquisition of both Andrew Wiggins and Jonathan Kuminga. We all know what Andrew Wiggins has meant for the Warriors. And Kuminga? Well, we all know what he's capable of.
Tickets are still available for that. Kuminga! Right-handed hammer!
Talk about a robbery, right? Then, on top of that, because of the loss of the Splash Brothers due to injuries, the Warriors tanked hard and consequently were given the number 2 pick in the 2020 draft. This was a championship caliber team who just made 5 straight finals appearances, getting the frickin' number 2 overall pick. Things didn't stop there either because they then signed the young glove on a veteran's minimum. This is a dude who's now on a $28 million 3-year contract.
Wembanyama behind the back, gets denied!
Jordan Poole, who led the league in free throw shooting, was still on his rookie contract, and who could forget Otto Porter Jr. and Bjelica, who both came in on minimum contracts. The Warriors went from good deals to great deals, just plain out highway robbery. This all resulted in a championship back in 2022. Then, more recently in 2023, the Warriors still had their championship core and the best starting 5 the NBA has seen in the past decade, but it was clear they didn't quite have enough firepower coming off the bench. Whether it was depth, size, or youth, they were lacking key components to what would make them contenders again. So, what did they do? Well, they went on ahead and did what they always did, and got the best deals available on the market, essentially robbing the NBA blind again. First, they added depth by trading away Jordan Poole for Chris Paul, a true point guard who could unlock the bench. Then they went ahead and somehow got Dario Saric on a veteran's minimum. This is probably one of the best contracts in NBA. And then, With their 2 picks, they went ahead and got Brandon Podziemski at number 19, and honestly, guys, I have absolutely no idea how they got Trayce Jackson-Davis at number 57. TJD was the second best player in all of NCAA basketball in 2023, was a 4th-year college player, 6'9", athletic, and was everything the Warriors were missing. He's given Steph Curry a pick-and-roll lob threat, he's given the Warriors a rim protector, and more importantly, he's given the franchise hope. This 4-man acquisition is about as close as it gets to highway robbery in the NBA, and while Golden State's record of roughly being a 500 team doesn't reflect this, check this out. After 30 games into the season, this is a list of every Warriors player and their plus-minuses for the year so far. Brandon Podziemski is leading the pack at plus 106, followed closely by Chris Paul at plus 105. Dario Saric then comes in at plus 89, followed by Trayce Jackson-Davis at plus 58, then Kuminga at plus 55. As good as Steph Curry is, and as flashy as Klay Thompson's highlights are, the Warriors are being completely carried by their bench at the moment, and without them, I wouldn't be too surprised if Golden State was at the bottom of their conference. But here's where things get good for Warriors fans. If I were a betting man, I'd wager that another robbery is coming right up. You see, as the most expensive team in the NBA in 2024, this team has no excuses for not being a championship contender. As an NBA owner, you don't just shell out hundreds of millions of dollars to lose game after game after game. Except if you're the owner of the Detroit Pistons, of course, but that's another story for a different day. As for the Warriors, NBA insiders are saying that the upcoming trade deadline is going to be a busy one and that Golden State is going to be at the heart of it. Insiders are also saying that more than ever before, the Warriors are open to trading away Andrew Wiggins because of his inconsistent performance this year. As of today, the Warriors are like 12 deep, and while being deep is normally a good thing, this is the first time I've seen a team be too deep for their own good. The Warriors are already having trouble distributing minutes, and with Draymond Green and GP2 returning to the lineup soon, the Warriors are going to have some serious problems finding time for all their players to hit the floor. I mean, the original starting 5 was Steph, Klay, Wiggins, Draymond, and Looney. Then coming off the bench are Chris Paul, Moody, Kuminga, Saric, Jackson-Davis, Podziemski, and the Young Glove. That's just too many players to give minutes to, and some of the young players, like Kuminga, are already voicing out their frustration with their inconsistent minutes by saying, "Sometimes I come out of the game not knowing what I did, and that messes with my head. It's like what they want me to do." In reality, most of the time, the situation is that Kuminga did nothing wrong, but that Kerr just feels compelled to give more minutes to some of his vets instead. And herein lies where the Warriors are about to once again rob the NBA and get exactly what they want. A trade is likely coming for the Warriors. This is a team with championship aspirations, and hovering at 500 with so many players being unused isn't going to sit well with the front office. Based on the landscape of the trade market, I'm seeing an Andrew Wiggins and Moses Moody trade for someone like Jeremy Grant. For the Trailblazers, who are at the bottom of the Western Conference, they'd be getting a young, good player in Moses Moody who just hasn't had the opportunity to shine yet, and they'd also get a veteran in Andrew Wiggins. The Warriors, on the other hand, could shorten their rotations by a player, which would make everybody a bit happier, and they'd also get a player who, although isn't quite a second option, has been averaging about 20 points with decent efficiency for the past 4 seasons. Only time will tell what the Warriors choose to do, but make no mistake about it, the Warriors will get what the Warriors want.